Hey everybody, this is Bo back in the lounge. We're going to go all the way out to Adams State College, talk a little wrestling with their legend out there, Jason Ramstetter. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good, and how about yourself?
Awesome. Thanks a lot for taking the time, Coach.
Always a pleasure.
Coach, you're crisscrossing the country right now, looking for new recruits, training camps. How much time are you spending right now looking for the new big Adams State wrestler?
Right now we're actually out looking, and we're looking on next year's because school starts here in a few weeks, so the guys we have coming are already locked in. So it's about a year-long process. So we're out right now trying to figure out who we're trying to sign for next year.
Coach, you really are a sort of an ambassador for your sport. A lot of coaches across this country, from the East Coast, obviously on the West Coast, know about you, know about your mixed martial art background now. Do you feel the recognition when you show up at arenas now?
I somewhat feel it, but it's mostly because I've been around the sport so long. I've just gotten to know a lot of people through the years, so it's just one of those things. The longer you're in the sport, the more people you know, and it just makes it one big family.
Absolutely. The other thing that I know a lot of people, we know when we have you on, talk about how much time do you spend on wrestling skills, then you've got the mixed martial art thing that you've done. Right now in the WEC, there's a assistant coach that's doing pretty good. I would say a really good job. Ricardo Lamas, do you have a chance to talk to him or watch him yet?
No, I haven't. I've never talked to him. I haven't, but I do watch. I watch often, so it's always, it's always fun to watch WC because you never know who's going to be in there that the name you know from wrestling. There's always guys popping up. It's been a great thing for wrestling. So I have been following.
Now, Coach, you've got some freshmen that are going to show up in the next 2 weeks. If not, they're already in the dorms getting ready for practice. What do those freshmen look like right now?
What I'm real pleased about with this class is I got a bunch of tough kids. Maybe the skills aren't all the way up to par, but I can give them those. But I just got some tough kids that I'm really excited about. Just a couple of them actually go to train some MMA up in Denver, and they're going to be coming down with me. So the fact that they actually have the interest in it already says a lot.
Yeah, it does. I know in football, there's a lot of schools, especially in the D2, it's really hard to have those kids stick around because their scholarship only covers them during the fall. So when they're there over the summer, it matters a lot. It brings a better solution to their program when the season does kick off. And I imagine it's the same thing in wrestling where each coach has his own style of how to coach. Each coach, depending on its age level, has a little more involvement. Other ones work on more technique as they get older and how to do things quicker and faster. What type of coach are you, Coach?
I'd like to find myself in the middle of the road. I spend a lot of our guys stick around through the off season, so I put a lot of time in technique there. So that when we get time for the season, we can get grinded, get fight, get in shape. Ready for that. I try and give them as much skills as we can out of the core of the season. So I try and find the balance. I don't want to be the total technician and know that we're the guy that's going to get us on the third period, but I also believe you got to have the skills to go forward. Not a whole lot good in being in complete great shape if you don't have the techniques and strategies to get points on the board.
Yeah, one of the things we like to watch in wrestling is who's really good or thinks they're really good. Then you've got the guy who knows he's good, and he just waits for a mistake to be made and then capitalizes. Which athlete do you prefer?
Oh, I actually like the guy that, just knows they're good, and they do capitalize on mistakes because it's not hard to get those guys to open up and come to the other side, start their attacks and start making the guy have other mistakes, where if you got a guy that doesn't realize how to capitalize on that, it's harder for them to understand that. That's one of the things that just certain minds have.
Yeah, we watch a lot of high school wrestlers who are good, that are winning states, or they're runner-up for state every year, or they're in the top 10 every single year. And you watch how they sort of keep track of the clock. They know they go down, they make sure no one gets a leg behind them, and they sort of finish without really working hard. They finish in 3 rounds, they win by points, and they know it. And when the hard matches come, I think sometimes they struggle a little more because they don't put forth the effort in some of the easier matches. Now, that's just me. I haven't wrestled before, but that's just me as an observer noticing that some of the nuances in high school. I think in college, there's a lot more attacking that you have to do and a lot less clock watching.
I totally agree with you because that always catches up to guys, you know. You see some guys and it seems they can beat everybody by 1 or 2 points no matter how bad or how good they are, but you know, you get that guy that knows how to press and attack, and eventually he's going to get one, and it's hard for him to capitalize or to capitalize on that guy's mistakes if he's equal or better. I'm not throwing any names out there because I don't want anybody in the rest of the world beat me, but it's seen it a few times in the top levels, guys that are winning by 1, and all of a sudden somebody figured out this is their strategy, and they came up with their own idea how to beat it, and they did.
Yeah, and the other thing that I really like about wrestling is, like every single sport, there are some specific traits or things that athletes work on. And I'm noticing my 2 boys wrestle, and I have them do tons of pull-ups, where in football, we've got them doing squats, bench presses, and tons of push-ups. You know, what are the basic exercises if there's a freshman athlete that looks like they might be promising and they listen to this? What are the exercises that you prefer to have athletes work on as they go through the next 4 years prior to going to college?
You already hit it on the head. By the time my guys are done with, their first year, by the time they're done with their career here, they're able to do a whole lot of pull-ups, different styles from just regular pull-ups to side pull-ups with the grip sideways, from doing them with on towels. We have a bar that's on the back of our squat racks. You know, it's a big square bar. They got to do them off of there. I make them do a whole lot of pull-ups. It's the best thing a wrestler can be doing. I'm also a big believer in, we do a lot of the other lifts, but the core thing that they're going to have by the end is they're going to be able to do a lot of pull-ups, dips, and push-ups. Something, just carries you a long ways in the sport.
Yeah, now you were as a wrestler. When I was working out back in the day, I hated push-ups. I almost never did them. I like dips. I like standing dips. I had no problem. Pull-ups I struggled at, so I didn't like them. So I was predominantly a military press and bench press and leg curl guy. As I got older, much older, I noticed that the more push-ups I was able to do, the stronger my military was, and a heck of a lot stronger my bench press was.
Yeah, that's one of those things that just comes with time, and it's the exact same way. Then they're wondering why I didn't have it earlier, and that's just part of it, huh?
Absolutely. Now, before we let you go, we got a few minutes here before we go. Who are those seniors right now that are busting on the scene as juniors and obviously the senior class that is going to be solidifying your lineup this year?
Man, I'll tell you what, it's going to be an interesting year for us. I have 5 guys that will be seniors. 4 of them have been All-Americans multiple times, 2 national champions returning. All these guys are going to be seniors, so we're actually trying to reload for when those guys graduate. That's what I'm really worrying about. You lose 5 guys like that, it's going to hurt.
Yeah, and I can imagine what the locker room's like when those freshmen try to get cocky, and that senior class is there looking at them, and you don't even have to say a word. You already know what's going to happen.
Yeah, no matter how good of a recruit I got right now, they're walking into a humbling room. It's a good thing. A good thing is the older guys they're good guys. They're not just going to try and beat them down and run them off. They'll actually try and help them along, but they're also the guys that'll make sure they know the young guys know they're dominant. So.
Now, last thing before we let you go, Coach, is there another fight in store for you, sir, coming up?
Yeah, I was wondering when we were going to hit on the MMA. Actually, I just turned down a fight that was supposed to be next week. I go out to Fargo for junior nationals for the cadet junior nationals. I was out there, so I turned down the fight because it was just too close to 2 weeks of training camp and a tournament. 2 weeks off. I did not want to take a fight when I couldn't put in full-time training, so I didn't do it, but I did go ahead and throw my assistant coach in there, so he's going to be fighting. The fight actually got pushed back to August 28th, so my assistant, Jared DeGuero, will be fighting in it, and might be one you want to keep an eye on. It's a guy that does a lot of wrestling tournaments, is putting on the event, and he has chalked his card up full of wrestlers. JUCO national champion. My assistant coach was a Division II champion. They All-American from another school. Don't know if you're familiar with Ramiko Blackman. He's won the U.S. Open. He's been one of the top wrestlers. He's supposed to be fighting it as well. This card is chalked up with wrestlers, so it's going to be a good one for the wrestling world to watch.
Awesome, Coach. Just hang on for 1 second as we sign off. Adams State head wrestling coach Jason Ramstetter. He's very easy to recognize. He's got that goat and he's got that hair. Thanks a lot, Coach.
Thank you.
One moment.